Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Peachy and this channel is all about my Sylvanian Families collection. For today's video we're going to be taking a look at another set I got for Christmas, and it's this one just here, which is the Classic Family car. This is one of the sets marketed to go with the new Biscuit Bear family, and it came out last year in Japan in 2025. This isn't an exclusive product, so at the moment if you want to import it from Japan, Amazon Japan is probably your best bet as they ship internationally, or Kobe Japan. But I would imagine it will come out at some point this year, 2026, for the rest of us worldwide. So I thought we could take a close-up look at this product and then also have a look at it compared to some of the older cars in the range. So let's start with a quick whiz around the box, then we'll get it open, take a look at it, and then I'll do a little bit of a comparison. So you can see from the box there's quite a lot of clear plastic on it, so you can really see the product inside and most of the contents. There's a little picture here showing that the headlights have that same kind of light up technology that we've seen recently in the house and fireplace and the furniture set to go with the house. Here we can see that it has accommodation for the whole Biscuit Bear family, so that's 10 figures, as well as this bit that can be removed and be a stroller for the triplets. You can obviously see the car, but we'll take a look at that closer when it's out of the box. Here it's showing that headlight detail again, and you can see the front of the car from this side of the box. It also comes with this little kind of picnic case suitcase that can fold out into a table and has some drinks and snacks. On the back of the box we can see some cute setup images as well as everything that comes in the set. Usual warnings and disclaimers, and then here we have the 2025 marker. So we can see them having a picnic, we can see them all in the car. Also looks like you can change the configuration of the seats, and then here is kind of the back of the car and where that suitcase attaches onto. Also using that baby seat as a stroller. On this side of the box we can see the other sets that this set is marketed to go with. So there's the big new house, which is the Biscuit Bear family's house. We've got some other sets that came out at the time, as well as the Biscuit Bear family sets just down here. Now, if you recall in the Biscuit Bear family set, so the mum, dad and baby, it came with this little toy model car, which we thought could be a hint to a new car coming into the range, and we were of course correct. Here it is in giant form, so it's cute that we have this little toy version as well. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get it out of the box. So we have a little storybook here, some cute images in it. Looks like they're hanging out with the Husky family today. And then also some instructions. This is a lot smaller than the instructions we got with the big house. Shows you can have the steering wheel on either side, where to put the horn. Again, you can have it on either side depending on where you're putting the steering. How you can rearrange the seats, how the back canopy piece pulls out, and how you can fit the stroller in there, how to work the suitcase, how to attach it on the back, the fact that it looks like you can pull other things along, including the boat, and that's that. We'll get the boat as well and see how that works a little bit later on. So here's what the inside backing of the box looks like, and it's quite a lovely image actually, just of the river and the house there in the background with all the trees. And then it's got like a little dirt road with flowers down the side. And then here's the pieces that actually come with the set. So we've got the car itself, the little stroller, and then the accessories in here. So let's start with this little stroller. You can see it's not particularly detailed. It kind of is all one colour and a little bit hollow on the back. So it's not as nice as some of the other strollers in the range. The wheels also don't turn around. They're just fixed. And you can see the little baby seats are kind of moulded in, but these straps aren't functional or anything like that. However, with the babies in, it probably won't look quite as plain. For the little accessories, we have a nice crystal style dish. Detail on that is quite nice. Looks realistic to what it's trying to portray. A bunch of grapes. These are quite nicely moulded and I like the colour on them. They've got a little stalk at the top as well. And they fit very nicely in that little dish. Two little crystal glasses to go or match with the dish. These are again really nice. They look quite effective to what they're trying to portray. A bottle of juice. Again, this looks pretty nice. The liquid's moulded in there, but it doesn't go all the way up to the top, so it looks quite realistic to how a bottle would look. It's also got some detailing on it, which just make it look a little bit more realistic to the glassware. And then we have the suitcase. This has some straps moulded in, some corner protectors. This is quite a nice piece. And this opens out like so. And then you can pull these legs out. Pop them into place. And they can form a little table out of the suitcase, which you can pop the smaller accessories on and kind of have like a little picnic scene. This will look especially cute with the extra picnic items that come with the brother and sister set, so you could have a bit of a fuller picnic. But now let's take a look at the actual car itself. So it's set up in the American way, but I want to pop it into the British way. So I'm just going to try and work out how you take this part out. Like that, and then you can flip it around so the wheel's on the other side. The horn as well, pop that over there. There we go, so that's how I'm going to have it set up. Just bring the camera down a little bit so you can get in a bit closer. So let's have a look at this side first. So it's this nice minty green colour. It's coming out a little bit darker on camera, but it's definitely more of a nice mint green in real life. It's got a white bumper, I guess you would call it, and wheel arch here. There's some texture on here to be kind of like grippy. I don't know whether you can see that too well on camera. But that's nice. It's got two colour wheels, so you've got the tyres and then the wheel arches. So nice that these are two separate colours. The wheels are obviously movable, so you can actually push it along. It's got open doors here, and then it's got moulded doors here, but they don't actually open up. Inside we've got the seats, and they look quite nice and plush. This one has a removable backrest, so you can turn it around and have it in a different configuration. I think that just slips into these little gaps here. And then you can have the seats backward facing, so all the children can kind of be talking together. Or you can have it the other way around and have the seats more divided like normal. So two big seats and then little seats for the babies. I like the design on these and the moulding. They kind of look like brown leather, very fancy. If we then come around to the front of the car, we can see it's got a personalised number plate with biscuit on it. Then we have the headlights. So it's not quite as sunny a day today, so I don't think you can see that lighting effect so well. But if I tilt it upwards, you can definitely see that they do kind of appear to light up with the light shining in through these parts here. Got the bonnet and then this nice grille on the front. This gold plastic is, I think, a little cheap looking. It's quite shiny. I think we've had better, more realistic looking golds before, but it's definitely not the end of the world. Then also has kind of a crank here, which you would use to wind it up, I guess, on these old style of cars. You can see the front of the horn has indentations on it for where the sound would come out. That's quite nice. I think it's probably meant to be up a little bit more like there. We also have these lanterns on the front. Again, they just give it a really nice vintage classic kind of look. This side of the car looks the same as the other side with the moulded doors. Grippy bit here, etc. Wheels. And then on the back, we have the place where the suitcase can be put in, and another little lantern, and of course another personalised number plate. Oops. Just to note, that can come out quite easily, so don't grab it by that seat. On the bottom, we can just see the wheel axles. There's not really any detail under there. And then if we look at the steering wheel, you can see the dashboard is quite kind of plain, but the steering wheel does turn around. And you got the little horn there as well that you would honk. This part can slide right back to accommodate this pushchair to make an extra set of seats for the triplets. Or if you don't want to have that there, you can have it like that. And just have the 3 baby seats. So having a look at the instructions, we've had a look at changing the steering wheel and the horn. We've had a look at how that toddler seat can fit in, or the newborn baby seat. We've had a look at how the seat can go either way, and how you can pull back the kind of canopy piece to accompany that or accommodate that. We've had a look at how the suitcase folds out. We'll do that in a second. And this one. So it looks like the license plate can pull out to put in that hook for the boat. So let's do these two. So let's try and attach this suitcase on the back and see how easy that is. So if we fold the legs in, and then I'm guessing we should be able to fit all the bits and pieces in here too. Yep, so you can fit all the accessories in here, and then this clips onto the back somehow. Oh yeah, that clips on pretty easily, and then it's in there quite sturdily. So shouldn't just fall out, so that's good. And then this number plate, oh yeah, it pulls out, and then there's a little hole there to hook the hook for the boat on. So this hook piece comes with the boat rather than with the car. So let me just grab the boat and then we can see how that works. So this is Captain Seal's, or Captain Amelia Floater's exciting boat set. And we can see here the piece that that boat comes with. And I think it must hook on the back here. So there's a little hole on the back here, which hooks in there. And then that apparently, I think I'm doing it wrong. Looks like it hooks over the number plate. Then onto there. And the car should be able to... Oh yeah, that works really well. The boat is really squeaky. If you remember the unboxing of the boat, you'll remember how squeaky that is. But that works pretty well. The car can quite easily tow along the boat. That's cool. Let me just pop her off to one side. And then you can just push the license plate back in, and that tucks that mechanism away if you just want to have the car by itself. You could probably use that tow piece with other things, but it doesn't show it being shown with other things. I think the last thing I want to have a go at before we do comparison with some of the older vehicles is whether or how well all of the family actually do fit in here. So let's add this little bit for the triplets. So here they are. Let's pop them in this little car seat. Pram type piece. Oh, they fit in there really nicely actually. And then when they're in the little pram, it doesn't look quite so plain. So that's cute. And then that can just sit in the back here, and they fit in there. And we've got 3 little babies. So we've got our sitting baby, crawling baby, and Noah, who is the standing baby. And they all fit in there. Then we've got the sister, the brother. They fit nicely in there. And then who should be driving? Dad or mum? Let's have Dad drive on this occasion, but I figured they would both be able to drive. And there we are. There's everybody in the car. They fit in there really well, actually. There's not really any room to spare, but they're not like horribly crammed in there. So that works really nicely. Makes the car look nice and full. I appreciate that they've actually thought about having space for the entire family so they can all go out on day trips together. So that's cool. Let's just see how the pram height is for the adult characters. So it almost feels a little bit low, but I guess they'd be kind of bending over. But I think you'd also be able to have, yep, the child characters could push the pram as well. So that's quite cool. Sorry, I just realised I'm doing that off camera. That's not helpful. There we go. So that's how the pram looks with the father and son, or the adult and child characters. I love this little sleepy baby. They're so cute. So let's have a look at this car compared to some of the older ones in the range. Just going to pop everyone back in because I like how it looks with all of them in. It's very cute. So the car that this looks like most to me is this old Urban Life car. We also got this in the UK range as a wedding car, but you can see it says Urban Life on the front. Firstly, the size difference is crazy. This one is so much smaller. This one is huge. This one does have rubber wheels, which I really like. But in terms of the detail, I wouldn't say that this one is all that much more detailed. However, I do much prefer this darker, kind of richer looking gold. But in terms of the actual accessories and stuff, like the wheel on this one doesn't turn. The horn isn't quite as detailed. I'd say the lantern, headlights, etc. All of this is probably about the same amount of detail. Same with the doors and the pedals and things. But this one is from the 80s originally, so I'm not surprised that it's not quite as detailed. Still, it's really fun that we've got an updated version of this style of car. I love this classic style of car, and I'm really happy that we have the same type of car again, but in a more modern variant. Then from the Flare era, I have this car. This one feels quite a bit bigger, but the detail on this again is really lovely. It's got the license plate. It's got this nice silver metallic. It's got this shiny plastic, but it just feels a little bit, I don't know, higher quality, or maybe it's the colour. None of the doors open on this one, but it's got this nice paneling and the window frames and everything. It's got the same kind of detail with the hood on the back and the suitcase. It's got its brake lights in, a nice red colour with then the silver and the green. What I do like about this one is the detail that's in the car. So you can see on the dashboard, you've got the steering wheel, which again you can have on either side. But you've got like all the speedometers, you've got all this detail, and then like a glove box all nicely called out. You've then got all the seats, but you've also got these little baby seats, and they can be removed, but they have like a little elastic band to keep the figures in there safe. This one's got seating for about 6, so it is slightly less capacity, but I just think the detail on this is really, really nice. It's a nice heavy weight, feels good quality plastic. For me, this is kind of probably one of the most detailed cars in the range, and they did this in a few different colours. I think there was a blue one and maybe a red one. And then the only other car I have that's newer is this picnic wagon. So this is from the Epoch era. You can see that the plastic has changed here to be this more matte plastic, which I just don't think looks as nice as this. This looks quite realistic to how it would actually look on a car, whereas this looks very matte. The plastic on this still feels like a pretty good quality. It's got the license plate on. It's got the doors. It's got this cool roof rack, which I like, and it's also got space for coffees in there. There is no colour on the inside, but there are bits that can fold out and such. The dashboard again is pretty detailed on this one, and you can have the steering wheel on either side. It's just not painted or stickered, which would just elevate it. This one does have a gear stick though, which is cool, and it also has little foot mats in the footwells. Also, of course, comes with the picnic basket, though in this case I think it's supposed to go like on the roof rack. I usually just pop it in the back seat though. This one has seating for 6 or 3 babies, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if you're having all babies and adults driving. The plastic on this one feels a lot closer to this gold plastic, so it's this more, it's not matte, but it just, I don't know how to explain it, just seems to have a completely different feel to this one. This one's just got a much more metallic look, whereas this one just looks like grey and gold kind of plastic. Same with this one. I can't fit them all in, but the gold on this just looks a little bit more metallic. Just pulled the camera back so I can get all 4 of the cars in together. I think you can really see the progression of the errors, nicely summed up in these different cars. There's definitely more cars than this in the range. These are just the ones that I have in my collection. There was a car in between these two which kind of bridges the gap. I think it was called the family car or something like that. There's also a bus which looks more like these. I do have the bus, but technically not a car, so I haven't included it here, but I think that does this style of vehicle really well as well, as a kind of stopgap between these two. It's like this one but a bit more detailed. But I think that is all I have for you for today's video. Let me know what you think of this car down in the comments. I always love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye for now.